Kamiko! Finding games to review on the Switch is not easy. There aren't a lot of games to choose from, and it doesn't help that it seems like half of the games on the eShop are Neo Geo games. By the way, if you guys have a suggestion on which Neo Geo game I should review, it would be very helpful. So just leave a suggestion in the comments. So perusing the eShop, I ran into this surprise of a game. It's very unusual for me to find a game that I've never heard of. Kamiko looked like a Zelda type game, and while that is technically true, I would say this is more of an action puzzle game. A very short action puzzle game. When you first start up, you're going to have to pick which person you want to play as. There are 3 different characters to play. One with a sword, one with a bow, and one with, I think, is a boomerang. My first run through, I chose the woman with the boomerang. As luck would have it, I think I picked the easiest one to control and play as. I think the sword wielder was the most difficult, as you have to do really close-up attacks on the enemies. The arrow wielder was more limiting, but it was easier to pick off enemies from a distance. There are 4 levels and 5 boss fights. I consider the last one 2 fights. In each level, you're going to have to light up 4 gates. And when you do that, you can move on to the next part. The gates are usually locked behind a puzzle. Usually it's just kind of like find an item and use it on the pedestal to unlock the area. While they did change the locale on each level, and they kind of varied the way you did it, the concept was the same level after level. There are lots of enemies around. You're going to need to fight them to get SP points. One enemy will give you 1 SP point, but if you kill another one in this small time limit they give you, you can actually get more and more SP per kill. So for example, if you kill 9 in a row, you're going to get 9 SP, then 10 and 11 and so on. You're going to need those SP points to unlock the treasure chests and gates. It's very easy to get points as the enemies were constantly respawning, almost as quickly as you would leave the screen. It was good for getting points, but terrible when you're going to need to get items to places that you need to get to. If you get hit, you're going to lose the item, and you need to go back to the chest to get it again. At least you don't have to buy access to it again. Now I did find if you left one enemy alive, the others won't respawn. So that might make it a little bit easier on yourself when you're trying to get to the pedestal of a treasure item puzzle. You can also shoot out a power attack, but it will cost SP points. I hardly ever needed to use it, so it really wasn't an issue. After you kill the 4 bosses, you're going to go up against the main bad guy, and then you win the game. This can all be done in about an hour. Then you can try and play the game as one of the other characters that you didn't choose. However, the puzzles will be exactly the same. The only challenge will be using the limitations of the weapon that your character is holding. Why not have level-specific puzzles with different characters? It really feels lazy to use the same stages. However, this is just a budget game, so I guess it's forgivable. Also, one of the more annoying things was they had the menu set to one of the main buttons, and I constantly was pressing it on accident. There is no reason it needed to be one of the face buttons. That's what the plus button is for. Kamiko was alright. I enjoyed it for the very limited time it had gameplay. It really wasn't that difficult. Although I think there was one puzzle that I think was a little unfair, as they hid the piece that you needed behind a tree. It's right here, by the way, if you ever play this game. This is straight up bull. And luckily they don't pull this in any other level. Feels like the game was made for speedrunning. It keeps track of the time that you spend in levels, and even will keep a counter up if you want it. I do think this game is worth a buy, but just barely. I really wish it didn't use the conceit of replaying the exact same game 3 times. However, for the reasonable price of $4.99, I feel like it's a fair price for it, but not a penny more. Now before I go, you might have noticed that my banner art has changed on my channel. That was done by Zach. You can check out his channel at the Gaming Gerbils. He also made me a couple other banners, but I decided to go with this one at the end. So thank you so much for the art, Zach. I always love it when fans send me stuff.